can't shake the simplest feeling beyond the ghost. We stand on the opposite shore. Hello, Ramona. I reach through mysterious ceilings, my only hope. I look for the things I don't know.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This week is a very exciting, fun video. I'm trying to finish all the books that I am in the middle of reading, which is a lot. I've been all over the place with my reading this year. I feel like I just keep starting books and then getting to the middle of them and then just forgetting about them and moving on to another one. I think it's a lot to do with the fact that I am not really enjoying a lot of the books that I'm reading, although some of these ones I feel like could be actual potential favourites. My mind's all scattered all over the place, so that is the plan for this week. I had my market yesterday, so last week I was prepping non-stop for my market. I was sewing like 8 hours a day, just non-stop prepping and working hard, and I've been in one of the biggest like chronic pain flares that I've been in for months or years at the moment. It's just been really hard, so I have not been able to read for the past few days, weeks, and I just really want to get back into some cozy routines of just reading. So I've got 5 books here. All of these I am currently in the middle of reading. I'll talk you through the 5 that I've got here. Currently I'm in the middle of, this was like a few months ago, but I'm halfway through The Body Keeps the Score. Really actually enjoying this one. It was just really heavy. I felt really overwhelmed and it just wasn't in the right mental headspace for this one because it's a lot about trauma and stuff, but I definitely think I want to get around to finishing this one first. I have the audiobook of a lot of these ones because I've got another busy week of orders and sewing, and I'll talk you guys through. I'm releasing another collection of book sleeves on my Etsy, but yeah, I'm going to listen to a lot of these as the audiobooks. I borrowed the audiobook from the library. So the first one I'll get to is The Body Keeps the Score. And then I'm like 20% of the way through a Rachel Cusk. This is Arlington Park. I'm really enjoying this one actually, so I want to get through this one definitely. This one is like the most recent one that I picked up and just put to the side. Then I read like 5 pages of On the Calculation of Volume 2. I loved On the Calculation of Volume 1 and I just ran out of time and was busy. I think I was trying to read all the Booker Prize books and I kind of just put this one aside and then forgot about it, but I really want to read this one. Also, another reason why I didn't want to finish it so soon is because there's like 5 or 6 in this series, but only 2 have come out in Australia, and once I get to the end of this one there's not another one to read, so I'm kind of like prolonging that. But yeah, I definitely want to read that one this week. Then we have Gliff by Ali Smith. I love Ali Smith's writing so much. This book though, I am about 70% of the way through, but I started reading it months and months ago and I completely forget what's happened, so I've decided for this one this week I am starting it from the start because I really want to actually enjoy and understand Ali Smith's writing. I don't want to just read the rest just for the sake of it because I've read the start. I don't remember it at all. So I'm restarting this one this week and I'm really excited because I love Ali Smith. This is one of her most newest novels and I love this cover so much. It's got a little like, I don't know if you can see, it's got like a little horse poking through. It's so cool. So that one's an exciting one to get to. And then the last one I'm hoping to get to this week is The Extinction of Irina Ray by Jennifer Croft. This one I am about 10% of the way through. It's a really weird, wacky novel set in a Polish forest, and this author, she goes missing and all of her translators are trying to find her. And yeah, I'm not really sure what direction it's heading in. So far it's really like different to anything I've read, but this one I started reading not long ago, so I do definitely remember the first bit that I read, so I will be finishing this one as well. And the audiobook is really good for this one, so it's really entertaining, fun read. I'm really excited to finish reading these books because I feel like I've been like really struggling to start any more books because I've got all of these in the back of my mind and I feel overwhelmed by how many books that I'm currently reading. I really like just focusing on one book at a time, but my brain is sometimes always scattered and I'm doing so many things at once, so I'm trying to finish all of these and then I can start a clean slate and start reading some new books next week. So I'm really actually looking forward to this week's reading. So the plan for this week is to rest and just have a really gentle week. I am in a lot of chronic pain currently at the moment. I have been in pain for like 3 weeks straight now. Not sure what's happening, trying to get a doctor's appointment. It's just the reality of living with a chronic illness, but we are trying to stay positive and optimistic, and I think a nice cozy reading week will be nice. And then also just no pressure, trying to do some sewing as well and getting some orders done, but not as crazy as last week where I was like go trying to do market prep and just smashing that out. But I really want to show you what I've been working on and what I was selling at the market yesterday. I had a really lovely, amazing day at the market. I sold about 11 book sleeves. I have a new book sleeve collection and it's called the Cottage Garden Collection, and each book sleeve, there's 12 of them. Each one is a different seed packet. There's different flowers and fruit seeds and vegetables, and it's just so cute. And I make a little book sleeve that's kind of designed to that theme. For example, so I've got like lemons here, and I'll put some examples on the screen as well. Each one's tied with a little ribbon. This one's untied, but this is a lavender one. There's nasturtium, one of my favorites. I absolutely love nasturtium. Oh my god, also when I was at my market yesterday, it was really like sunny and windy and the weather was crazy, but I had a copy of, I sell a lot of secondhand books at the market if you don't know, but I had a copy of Yellowface on my table. Love Yellowface, and it's a very bright yellow cover, and I was like rearranging the books and walking around my store, and I saw there was a bee sitting on the cover, and it just made my day because it's a bright yellow cover and there's been a lot of bees around because it's spring now, and I just thought that the bee must have thought it was a big yellow flower because they're attracted to yellow, which I thought was really cute. It was just sitting on Yellowface enjoying the sun and the yellow and thinking that it was on a flower, so that was really cute. Then I also have an iPad sleeve order that I'm getting to this week. Yeah, that is my plan for the week, but most importantly is resting and reading all of these books. I have a really good feeling that a lot of these books are going to be like 4-star and above, so that's very exciting. We're cooking a cottage pie, and I'm currently in like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 pain. But just trying to ignore it. I've just sent Will to the shops to get a carrot because we're missing a carrot. But I'm making a beef cottage pie, beef one for Will and a vegan beef one for me for dinner tonight, and meal prep for lunch tomorrow. I haven't started reading any books yet today, and then I was designing some stickers for my Etsy and market orders that I'm going to order and put on my little book sleeves, so that was fun. And then now I'm just cooking and trying not to break down in tears, which I've already done a few times today. The potatoes are currently boiling. Ta-da! And I'm just, it's a mess, but we are making some stock, getting the veggies ready for the cottage pie. Hi, Magpie. I went to the op shops yesterday. These are all the books I found for my market stall. I hit the absolute jackpot. I did not even feel like actually shopping for books yesterday, but I just quickly checked the books whilst I was at the op shops, and this is what we found. So I just want to give you a quick haul. First, I found The Hummingbird Effect, Australian novel. Really exciting. Les Miserables. Look at the size of that. Brand new. Gorgeous. I Am a Cat, a little collection of stories about a cat who wanders around observing people, and it's set in Japan, and it just sounds really gorgeous. This is actually the 3 novels in one. Got The 7 Moons of Marley Almeida. This one is really good. Red Queen, a thriller, sounds really fun. Mayflies, I've heard incredible things about. I was considering maybe keeping this for myself, but I already kept 4 of them for myself, so I need to not be greedy with my own book buying at the moment because I need to read books before I can keep them. Also, this one I was thinking about maybe keeping, but I'm not sure. I've heard a lot about this one too. This is Tilda is Visible. Then the Holy Grail find, Sally Rooney Intermezzo, which I haven't read yet, which is like an absolute crime. I have not sure where it is, but I have, oh, it's here. I have a signed copy there, so this one will be selling at my market, but very good find. The Paper Palace, I love this cover so much. The Bee Sting I already have a copy of, and I really want to read this one because I've heard amazing things about this. Night Crawling, Nesting, which I'm really wanting to read soon. This one is a very new release. Eggshell Skull, Green Dot, want to read soon. She is Haunted, and Tom Lake, one of my all-time favorites. And then I kept 4 of the books for myself, so this is my own mini haul. Betty, which I've heard insane things about. I'm so excited to read this one. I think maybe in summer. I've heard it's incredible. The Shut-Ins by Catherine Brabin. This is one of Catherine Brabin's first novels. I absolutely love Body Friend and The Cure by Catherine Brabin. So I've been wanting to find and buy a copy of this, and I found it. That was a shock. This one sounds really fun. It's set in Australia. It's called Thanks for Having Me by Emma Dara. I really like the cover of this one too, and it sounds just really fun. And then this one I had on my TBR for a while, and I forget what it's actually about. But I remember reading a review and I really wanted to buy it, and then I put off buying it, and then I found it at the op shop. So this is Same As It Ever Was by Claire Lombardo. And an update on my reading. I have not done much reading yet this week. It is Wednesday now, but I was listening to some of The Body Keeps the Score yesterday whilst doing a puzzle. Started a new puzzle, so that's fun. And yeah, I'm going to finish this one today. That's the plan. And maybe do some sewing as well, and just, yeah, take it easy. I've been having really bad pain for like 18 days straight now, and I've got a doctor's appointment actually really soon with my doctor today. So that is the plan, and we're just gonna keep pushing on. But yeah, instead of reading yesterday, I went out and bought way more books. That's the way it always goes. But we need to get stuck into this challenge, and this one is very confronting and there's a lot, but I think if I get through this one I can put it to the side, then I can focus on my more fun reading. And yeah. Hello! I just got back from a walk and I have a raging headache. I had an appointment with my doctor today because I've been in pain for like 19 days or so straight, and I've been having a lot of mental breakdowns. Haven't been filming them. I've been filming the positive parts of my week, but I have been struggling really bad. So today I was feeling really rough and just awful and mentally not good. So I decided my nails were kind of like peeling off. I had some really beautiful nail art done. I decided to take myself to the street and get my nails done. And I got French tips for the first time. And I actually love them. So that cheered me right up. And then also I got some book mail I did not know I was receiving from Alan and Unwin. Thank you, Alan and Unwin. They're my number one supporters. They're sending me a lot of book mail at the moment. New releases. This is from Andrew O'Hagan, the same author as Mayflies, which is funny because I was just talking about that today. On Friendship, his new novel, which I believe is a collection of essays all about friendship, and quite a short one too. So thank you, and this is really exciting. Had no idea I was getting this, but it sounds really good. And then just on my walk, I had my headphones in and I was listening to Gliff by Ali Smith the whole walk. I don't really remember any of it, but it's kind of like slowly coming back to me. I'm half an hour in and it's quite a shorter one. But the premise of it, I think it's all like dystopian, and it's like set in like a futuristic world. And yeah, at the moment there's like 2 children and they've lost their mum somewhere, and this guy's going off to try and find their mum. But then it's also very Ali Smith writing. It's not just dystopian, it's like creative and very arty and very different, but that's all I'm gauging from it so far. And yeah, Will is just about to get home and we're actually going to go to IKEA because I have decided we have a beautiful outdoor area that none of us sit outside in. Sometimes I sit outside, but it looks like this at the moment. These are all chairs that we picked up off the side of the road because we had no chairs and they're all falling apart. A lot of them are growing mold and stuff on them. And I want to get a proper outdoor table and bench situation and make that outdoor. It's a really beautiful like private corner that gets a lot of sun, especially during the morning and during the day. And I really want to make that area like a nice area where I can go out and sit and have my breakfast, coffee, morning sun, and journaling and a lot of reading and arts and crafts, and just a really wholesome area because some weeks I really struggle to leave the house. I pushed myself to leave the house the last 2 days because I've been feeling really claustrophobic and really stuck with my own illness, and I just wanted to run away and escape. So I pushed myself to leave the house, but I feel like if I have like some sort of beautiful sanctuary area outside, which this backyard area, as you can see, is beautiful, but I just needed some sort of like table and bench chair situation to sit outside. So yeah, we're going to IKEA to get something for that area and I'll show you guys. And then we're getting meatballs for dinner because I've been craving IKEA meatballs for a couple of weeks now. Anyway.
Advice to do what you want them to do, but I'm asking you to source your education more widely and more dimensionally.
I'm forest. Unstitch my mist. Open me inside out. Bear my rivers to moon and Matahari. Sacred hornbills croaking home to shit-seal chimney nests. The gorilla acuity of every living thing is on display. Orangutans swing through a light-speared canopy. The canopy holds lakes of water. Trees to be cut down for boats, spears and tables.
You take that final step out of Eden and you look back and it's
Hello everyone, I am just straightening my hair and getting ready. I'm going out tonight, it's Saturday. I just did an hour of reading just before On the Calculation of Volume 2. I am loving On the Calculation of Volume 2, maybe even more than the first one, although the first one was really fun too. So basically the whole premise of On the Calculation of Volume is that she is stuck in the same day non-stop and she can't get out. She's the only one stuck in that same day. Even when she tells people about her being stuck, they don't remember the next day, so she has to retell people again and again, and she starts becoming really lonely and like reflecting on life and everything. She's stuck on the 18th of November. And now she's gone so crazy that she really misses the concept of seasons, and she's like reflecting on what a season means and if they're actually man-made or if nature can create them, and she's trying to chase the seasons throughout like the world. So she's like traveling up north to kind of create the winter season that she feels like she should be in right now. And then now she's slowly starting to crave spring after spending a lot of time in the snow in Norway and in the winter. And it's just really, really cool. I actually love this type of writing and the experimental kind of like plot. And yeah, I've got like an hour left of reading, I think, for this one, and then I'll be done. And then I finished Gliff yesterday, which I loved. Gliff is very like dystopian, and it kind of explores what would happen if the world, like the way we're heading now with like AI and a very controlled society, if that went even further and completely like took over their lives, and she ends up like having to work for this system and like not knowing her identity. But then also in a very Ali Smith way, she like talks about different things and experiments with a lot of different ideas. The idea of a horse is very much talked about. They get this horse, it's a pet, and they name it Gliff. I really love Ali Smith's writing so much, and that was quite different to her other stuff, but it was really fun and experimental, and I think she did a really good job. It was very relevant for today's day and age. Yesterday, I went to the author talk for Fierceland by Omar Musa. Absolutely blown away. I only just found out about this book because I went into the bookstore and I just like got my attention, and then I read the blurb and I saw that it was about Borneo and the rainforest, and I did my own trip to Borneo like 3 years ago and felt very connected with the rainforest. So he talked a lot about last night wanting to use the rainforest as its like have it as its own character, and he spoke to Max Porter a lot, which I love Max Porter's writing. He is an amazing author, and he uses nature and forest as its own character and as a voice a lot in his writing. So I was very shocked to hear that he also talked to Max Porter about it, and Max Porter was telling him to make the forest louder, make it more present in your story. So he has all of these parts that are like, I am forest, and it's from the forest perspective, and he did a lot of readings of those forests, and then also was touching on so many different themes. It actually took him like 6 years to write this book, and a lot of travel, a lot of talking to indigenous people in the forest and learning their language and translating stuff. It was actually amazing. He is so incredibly talented, and I cannot wait to read Fierceland. I think it's going to take a while to read though, because it's quite a big book and there's so much going on in it. And yeah, it took him like 5-6 years to write, which is just incredible, honestly. Hearing his writing process, and he was so well spoken. I felt so inspired and wanted to go off and write after hearing him speak. So that is my reading update at the moment. I think I'll finish on the calculation of volume 2 either today. I have to go soon, and I'm out all night at parties and seeing friends, so maybe not tonight, but maybe tomorrow. So today's Saturday, and then I just need to finish 2 more books, and then I've got my interview at the bookstore on Monday, and I'm so nervous, but I'm so insanely excited, and I've never been more excited for a job interview in my life. So yeah. Thank you. Hello everyone, it's Monday. I just got back from my job interview. I haven't had a job interview in like over 2, or actually maybe 4 years, because my last job was like 2 years ago, but I was there for like 2 years. Yeah, it's been a long time, and this was like for one of my dream job positions, as a bookseller at one of my favorite bookstores. So I think it went well, fingers crossed. We'll find out on Wednesday, so we'll find out in 2 days. Whew. But I'm feeling good about it, and it was really fun, and the person was really nice. And yeah, it's very, very, very exciting news. Anyway, carrying on with my challenge, I have been so busy this whole weekend. I have been non-stop busy. We had 2 parties, actually 3 parties. Did some karaoke for my dad's birthday, went to a German bar for Will's friend's birthday, and then went to a house party for my friend's birthday, or just party. So I'm exhausted, and then I got up this morning and went straight to my interview, and I've been prepping for my interview all weekend. So no reading has been done, but I went to readings yesterday to do some prep for my interview, and I wanted to look at some books and do some book shopping, any excuse to book shop, and I ended up getting 2 books. This is a new release that I'm seeing everyone talk about at the moment. This is Summer at Mount a Summer. This is translated from Japanese and says here, the Japanese novel comes of age in this gripping story of love, art and life as a group of architects competes to design the new National Library of Modern Literature in Tokyo. Set in the 1980s, all about architecture, Japanese, and surrounded by mountains and landscape. Like, right up my alley. I'm so excited by this one, and I've heard amazing reviews. And then I just came across, this was the book that inspired Spirited Away. So it is The Village Beyond the Mist. It is a middle grade children's book, which I love myself some children's books sometimes, especially graphic novels. This one has gorgeous illustrations. I believe it's been redone. It's been translated recently into English, and this edition has been redone with new illustrations this year, so they're all kind of Studio Ghibli inspired. And yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. So this inspired Spirited Away, and then also Howl's Moving Castle was inspired by Howl's Moving Castle the book. A lot of Studio Ghibli books were inspired by books, and then there's also a lot of other books that are kind of Studio Ghibli kind of style as well. So I want to read more of those kind of books and translated Japanese. It's kind of my interest at the moment. And yeah, rest of today cleaning this room, and I'm finishing on the calculation of volume 2. I have almost finished that, so that's today's plan. Hello everyone, wrapping up this video, I just wanted to sit down and chat about all the books that I have finished reading. I currently have no books on my Storygraph as currently reading, which is such a refreshing sight to see. I feel like I've got a clean palette and I can read any books that I want to next. So here are the 5 books that I finished reading. Some of these I've already told you my thoughts on, but some of them I have not got round to telling you, so I'm gonna let you know now what I think of all of these and which ones were my favourites, which ones were my least favourites. Starting off with The Body Keeps the Score. This one I finished first and I already told you my thoughts on. Very thoughtful, deep book, touching a lot on trauma, really explaining how trauma does shape your body, and a very necessary read if you have gone through trauma or your body has gone through some sort of trauma. Very eye-opening, very confronting at times, but a very important, special book. Next, I finished Gliff by Ali Smith, and I just found out a few days ago that Ali Smith's actually releasing a second book called Gliff, spelt differently. I think it's GLYPH. Ali Smith loves playing around with the way that you spell words. She loves grammar. She loves playing with words and different meanings for words. So it's very Ali Smith to be coming out with another book of the same name but spelled differently. I'm not sure if they are connected in any way or if it's completely different, but she always likes to explore similar themes in her novels. A lot of politics and the way the world currently is and how it's changing, and people's connection, and also grammar and words, and she loves playing with words, and a lot about seasons as well. I feel like, well, obviously her seasonal quartet, but she always talks about seasons and the way the world's changing constantly, and also how we're changing for the future. This one was very dystopian, probably the most dystopian of her novels, but I think she absolutely nailed this one, and it was a really, really good read. I would probably rate this one about 4 stars. I think I rated it 4 stars on Storygraph, and I'm really excited for her next one. Next, I read The Extinction of Irina Ray. This book was so hard to get through. It's just one of those books where you feel so stuck and every page feels like it is a slog to get through. The language and the writing of this book is so detailed. There is so much going on. So many of the words that were used in this book I had to look up the meanings for. It definitely made me feel dumb reading this book. It was a very, very smart book, but It was quite fun and entertaining. It follows the story of this author who invites all her translators over to translate her next big book. She's a very famous, world famous author. And she goes missing within the first few days, and they are all stuck in the Polish forest wondering where she went, and there's all these weird things going on, and you don't really know what's true and what's not true, and it is from the perspective of one of the translators, and she's writing a book about this happening, and then this book is translated by one of the other translators, and she has translated notes in it, so it's very confusing, like who's talking about what, and you don't know who to trust, and then it all kind of comes to a conclusion, but there's also a lot of things left like unanswered. It was a really interesting discussion on the art of translation and how much we take that for granted with novels, because I have been getting a lot into translated fiction, but it's just like from the perspective of the translators, it is quite interesting. I underlined this quote actually I really loved from the book. "There are fungi in Chernobyl," he gestured southeast, "that can turn radiation into food. Just think," he rubbed his hands together, "they are the planet's only future, our only hope." "Do you think that might be what we do," I ventured, "as translators? You mean turn radiation into food?" "Yeah," I said, "maybe." Freddie smiled. "This is one of the reasons I agreed to come, in fact, when Irina emailed me. I considered it my duty to provide this service to the cultural ecosystem. Translation is a kind of recycling." I thought that was really cool, like the description of the forest and also translating together I thought was really interesting. I just really struggled to get through this book, which made it less enjoyable for me, but some parts were really fun and interesting, and yeah, it was a really good book. I still definitely recommend this one. Next book I read and finished was On the Calculation of Volume 2. This was my favourite book by far of this challenge, and maybe of the year. This I rated an easy 5 stars. This is the second book in On the Calculation of Volume series. There's actually like 6 or so in the series, and only 2 have been translated into English so far. This follows Tara, who is stuck in the same day over and over and over again, the 18th of November. It is drilled in my memory as the 18th of November, and she is just coming to terms with the fact that she's stuck in the same day. This book really starts to be her reflection of her being stuck and coming really to terms with it, whereas the first book was her trying to get out of it. She reflects on seasons. She goes on this adventure to chase different seasons, even though she's only stuck in one season. She travels all around, and then she starts going a little bit mad, and then at the end something crazy happened, and I actually was like saying to myself, I hope something like this happens in this series, and exactly what I hoped came true. I'm not going to spoil it though, but this book is so fun. The writing style, the prose is amazing, the different reflections on life. I love a book with no plot, and this seriously has no plot because nothing's happening because she's stuck in the same day, but it also has an interesting plot because she's stuck in the same day and it's not a normal scenario. I just absolutely love this book. I might read out a few quotes for you guys. This is the part when she was searching for spring because she was craving spring and change of season. And it said here, "I have a sense of momentum. I'm sure spring is on its way. And with my scrambled eggs at the hotel, I had chives which taste slightly of spring. But I don't want to rush the year. I won't go to the airport and cheat my way to spring air. It's in the waiting that spring becomes spring. So I wait at my hotel until it's time to go to the station. I wait for small signs of springs, for a thaw and warmer days." I bloody love this book, and I left on such a cliffhanger, and the next book is coming out, I think, in less than a month, and I'm so excited to get my hands on it. And then just quickly, the last book that I read for this challenge was Rachel Cusk's Arlington Park. This is one of Rachel Cusk's older books, and it was quite entertaining, but I just didn't feel like it had much soul to it. I feel like the characters were just very surface level. It was very much an exploration of the place Arlington Park, and an exploration on place and what makes up a town, and just kind of like the stereotypical people that live in that town. There was a lot of like back and forth talk between mothers and dinner parties and going out shopping and judging other mothers, and a lot of like bickering and bitchiness, which was quite interesting as a character study. I normally love these kind of books, but I just didn't really feel that connected to these exact characters, but it was very good Rachel Cusk writing. I really liked some parts. Each chapter kind of followed like a different character, so some characters I enjoyed reading about more than other ones, but it was a fun, quick read. Nothing crazy, not my favourite Rachel Cusk, but still a good read, and I'm glad I read it because I'm trying to read all of Rachel Cusk's writing, so So yeah, these are the 5 books that I finished that I was currently reading, and now they are all finished, I can go off and read new books. I am wanting to do some more reading challenges, and also I have a very exciting update for you guys. I was mentioning earlier in this vlog that I went off to have an interview to work at a bookstore, and I just found out a few days ago that I got the job. I'll be working at one of my dream favorite bookstores in the world, and it's such a privilege and I'm so excited. So I'm going to be reading a lot more. I'm thinking of doing another challenge where I read like heaps of books, and I really wanted to broaden my reading and read a lot of new releases and get myself ready for my new job at a bookstore. I am so excited. I already met everyone yesterday, my manager and all the people I'll be working with, and they're all really lovely, and I'm just so beyond excited. So that's finishing off on a really exciting, happy note. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it was a very long, chatty video. Let me know if you guys like these long, chatty videos or if you want shorter ones. I just kind of felt like going rogue with this video and just talking for as long as I wanted about these books. I just love talking about books and sharing that all with you guys. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you all in another video very, very soon.